Welcome back to the Lotus Room for another installment of Tool Check, your leading source of vibes-based tool reviews. Today we have a very special episode. We have my absolutely unjustifiable pre-Black Friday holiday tool haul, where I went to every hardware store in the area to look for their pre-Black Friday deals, which apparently is a thing now, and I bought a bunch of stuff that I didn't need but really thought would be fun for me to just take a look at, tell you about the deals, evaluate them, give my thoughts on it. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to go through each of these one at a time. I worked really hard to get these all in the shot. I think about as successfully as one could hope, given the angle of my workbench and all that other good stuff. But anyway, so we're going to go through these one at a time, give you my thoughts, and we're going to enjoy a moment of rampant consumerism together. It comes earlier each year, kind of like Christmas. Black Friday is going to be that same kind of thing. So anyway, and before we really get started, if you have not had a chance to take a look at my Halloween special, please do so. Some of my best work, pretty interesting video, maybe a little bit different than some of the other ones. But if you haven't seen it, please check it out. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to go one store at a time and talk about everything I got from that particular store. Go through maybe some of the features. Probably not really going to test anything out today, but just talk about what I think about these, what the vibes are, right? And so first up, we have Harbor Freight, a place known for its tool deals and astounding tool quality. Ha 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 ha, I'm so funny. Okay, so we've got these, the snap ring pliers. This is the only thing I got from Harbor Freight. They used to have some pre-Black Friday deals out there. Some looked okay. I have most of those things. That normally doesn't really slow me down, but I actually don't have a pair of snap ring pliers, and I saw this set discounted down to, I believe, $5, five big ones. And from I think 13 or 14. I don't know if these go on sale a lot. This has 4 changeable heads. I can't find one of the other ones. But yeah, these seem decent. I don't really know what to look for in a great pair of snap ring pliers. I'm not really snapping a lot of rings, if you know what I'm saying, all the time. But I thought these things were decent, you know, and so the spring feels good. The quality of the steel feels, I mean, passable. You don't really need like the toughest stuff in the world for snap rings. Really, it's more about kind of the precision. But one of the cool things about these is so there's this little, like, I don't know what you'd call it. Is that a trunnion kind of spring guy there? I don't know if it's a trunnion. I don't know, but if you push it, you can pull it out, and then each pair can be each changeable head can be put on here in different orientations. So it can either be default closed position or default open position. So if I take this off, right, and I put this in like thus, you gotta make sure we can see this here. This will now default to, and then it'll fall right off because you hate your life and you're sick of it and you wish it would just stop. No, just kidding. All right, so you put that on like, oh, I think it goes the other way. That's the problem. It's the flush side against the ring. So we get that like that. Then you put this retainer back in, and it's so easy if you're not recording yourself, because then it happens smoothly. There we go. So we get that in there. It goes right in. Please go in. There it goes. All right, so now we have the default open position, and then so you have this one that's at kind of a 45. You have one that's at a 90, and then I think you just have 2 of these straight ones. I don't know if there's a difference. Maybe there is. Somebody comment below if you know. But regardless, for $5, I think you can probably do a lot worse. I'm not sure how long these are going to last or how even good they are at what they do, but I think that for the money, these are pretty hard to beat. And so Harbor Freight, for your pre-Black Friday portion of the tool haul, you did great. All right, so let's move on to the next store. Next up, we went to Ace. Is it the place? Find out tonight. All right, so Ace had a few deals out there, and I should probably explain like I did in the, so what I mean by, you know, Black Friday deals is typically stuff that's out in the aisles, right? Like kind of a thing. I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video. You'll figure it out, you're smart. And so there were a few deals, there were some things on display. There was a set of Milwaukee screwdrivers for $20, down from $45. I also saw that deal at Home Depot a while ago, and I resisted both times because I just have so many screwdrivers, you guys. But if this video gets 200 likes, I will buy those Milwaukee screwdriver set, even at full price. I will do it for you, and we will evaluate them, and I'll give you my full thoughts. 200 likes, and it's happening. But so I went down to Ace. There were some deals. There was nothing there that really struck my eye or that where I was like, I need that. But there were two that I thought were actually pretty cool. So one was this little itty bitty mini 4mm precision bit set. So I think I've seen this at the dollar store before and other places that sell this. But it basically has these 4mm precision bits. It unscrews in this kind of radial container here and has like the itty bittiest little bit driver here. I actually don't know how this retains. Let's see. I bet if there's a magnet. Ooh, dear, I don't think there's a magnet. There's a snap ring. Okay, so there's a snap ring in there, and that's decent-ish retention. So this is the cheapest plastic I've ever felt. This seal feels very, very soft and like it will break instantaneously. But if you just throw this in your car, or if you run into a lot of precision things, have this in the drawer, I think this has like a place. I mean, it's not very amazing or anything, but I think this is like okay as like a gift or as like a backup kit. I don't know. I got it. I can't remember how much money. I'll make sure to put that down. Retention is decent, and all that. The reason I got it is I thought maybe I could use this bit container for some of my nicer 4mm bits and carry those around in this thing if I wanted a more compact setup. And they're kind of like, I like that, like you can put it on like a desk and they're all just kind of ready to go for you. So not only is this like good storage, you can kind of work out of this better than maybe some other ones. The only issue with this guy is that the threading on this is so bad that it makes me want to go crazy. So trying to get this attached, the amount of friction is bananas. And so probably not great. Honestly, this probably don't get it. It is getting expensive. Maybe you can WD-40 that. I don't know. It's okay. But then I got this case, this Craftsman guy right here. So what is this? Craftsman 10 compartment organizer. And limited lifetime warranty on this, so a rare deal. I bought it because I'm like, yeah, it's kind of neat, and it's got some dividers inside. When I opened it up, or as I open it up now, yeah, it's got these dividers, so you can put this up into different configurations. I think that's kind of neat. The one thing with this guy is that it has this plastic section that is not removable. So it does have one of the dividers on here, so you can kind of put this in here and like cordon off these two. But I really wish this was like removable without like a Dremel tool and some determination, so that it would be a little more customizable. So this is really good for like parts. If you are carrying a bunch of parts around, or if you're fixing something and you're trying to keep your parts organized, I could see using this. For like tool storage, because this isn't removable, if you wanted to like throw some foam in here, something, make like a little service kit of your own, this probably isn't the box to do that in. Maybe you could make it work, I don't know, just because of this. But this was on sale for like $5, down from like $15, so not bad. So is Ace the place? Yet to be determined. There might be more holiday deals that I'm unaware of, but of these two, I'd give this a resounding, they're fine, I guess. Let's move on to the next store. Okay, we are now at Tractor Supply. All right, so Tractor Supply actually impressed me. They had stalls out. It was pretty cool. There was all kinds of deals. I think I took some B-roll. Let me see if I can put that on there. If there's no B-roll, I'm really, really sorry. But there was some Stanley ratchets. There were some deals on Gear Wrench that looked like some pretty solid deals, which is cool. Gear Wrench makes good stuff. There were some Dewalt products out. There was some house brand stuff. I can't remember the name of their house brand. They had one kind of portable tool case thing. It was like an all-in-one kit that was like a little like, I wannabe Pelican case. I was like, that's kind of neat. I sort of liked it. And I thought about getting it. It was like $140 or something. Like, again, I don't need it. I wish I could have got the case. That's something that I wish like a lot of tool manufacturers did, is you just buy the case. But so what I ended up getting was more screwdrivers, which is funny because I just said I don't need those. But when I went to Ace, but these were, I believe, $10 for this kit. There were some other larger kits. I resisted temptation on those, and I got this kneeling pad. So this kneeling pad, I can't remember how much money it was. It was a deal, and it's really nice. Look how thick that is. Oh dear, the Lotus Room sign. Oops. Anyway, but look how thick that is, and it's so squishy and nice. I haven't used it yet, but man, this was a deal. I can't remember how much it was, but even if it was, I think this may have been at full price and wasn't discounted. I think it's at everyday low price. But like, this is a great kneeling pad for any price. Like I think I have a Harbor Freight one, and compared to this is like a dub. This is super dub. We'll go over to Dubs Only. Post about your victory if you get this. Very good. And then these screwdrivers. So this is a set of 4. I believe I got this for $10. These are not Dewalt's Tuff series, which are kind of, they're like, hey man, it's pretty good, it's even better kind of guys. But these are pretty solid screwdrivers, I'd say. Magnetic tip. I like when flatheads have that texture, kind of helps you grab onto stuff and like use it better as a pry bar, because we all know what it is, and they're magnetized. So you know, and the magnet is well, I guess it's not that good. It's kind of good. It's better on these probably. Okay, so it's probably not that good. The fitment, I'd say, is pretty solid. I tried it a little bit, nothing too crazy. Here, let's grab our test block here. But like, yeah, like, you know, I'd say that's a pretty comfortable handle. Decent fitment. It's got like its manganese phosphate tip there. And so for the money, if you're looking for screwdrivers, you want to give something to Grandpa that he already has, but he doesn't remember because his like raging dementia. And he's like, I love screwdrivers. This is a great deal. You can thrill your aging grandfather with these screwdrivers and really delight him. So yeah, I'd say these are pretty good. And just in general, Tractor Supply had some deals. Really impressed with their stuff. I really appreciate the rampant dedication to the pre-Black Friday lifestyle over there at Tractor Supply. Let's move on to our next store. All right, so we are at another store where you can be a farmer, Cal Ranch. But unlike FarmersOnly.com, where you're going to find your true love, there you're just going to find you know, hardware and garden hoses and Carhartt products and some tools and probably other things that I'm unfamiliar with. Now, Cal Ranch is actually a pretty interesting store. At least the ones that that are near where I live have Tecton products on the shelves, which I think is actually kind of cool. It's the only place I've seen where they're like stocked there, ready to like purchase. I have a lot of Milwaukee stuff and some other things. But as I was walking around Cal Ranch, I realized they were not participating in the, you know, pre-Black Friday thing. So we should maybe give them a hand for not, you know, engaging in this kind of rampant consumerism. But that kind of threw a wrench into my, you know, work because I was like, well, I don't know what to buy here. So I looked around to see if there were some you know, deals, just sale items, right? And so I happened to see this thing. This is the Skil 2.0 Twist. This is Skil's electric screwdriver. And I've seen this on other people's videos, and I decided to give it a shot. I'm kind of interested in electric screwdrivers. I have one that I like, but I thought, hey, let's just see what else is out there on the market. So this is a 4-volt internal battery electric screwdriver, USB-C rechargeable. It has 3 torque modes that you select down here. If you hold on to it, you'll see your battery, which for me is always red, no matter what. I charged this all last night, still nothing. To operate the screwdriver, it's really simple. Just 2 buttons on the side. To go forward, you push this. And to go backwards, you push this. Couldn't be easier. The bit is retained with a magnet. And it is, you can be put into 3 positions. This main position that's kind of 180 degrees. If you push this guy, you can go down about 30, right? And then here you can go down to sort of a full 45 degrees. And then that's as far as it goes down. I'd say the retention is, you know, fine, kind of what we would expect from this sort of thing. But as I was messing around with this, I noticed a couple of things. One is that, just listen to this. Yeah, it sounds like it's struggling right out of the gate. I mean, this thing is like, those brushes are working. I mean, that is a crunchy, crunchy sound. Now, to compare that to my Dremel electric screwdriver, this is what this sounds like. Okay, so, you know, a little bit rougher. I also found that this thing doesn't really have very much power at all. Now, I don't expect electric screwdrivers to be like blasting holes into concrete or something like that, but this, if it encountered any resistance at all, it was just like, no, I don't want to do it. You know, it was just really sad and couldn't really pull it off very well. And the other feature that this lacks that other electric screwdrivers have is that there's no clutch. Now, this will detect if it like over torques, and it'll kind of like stop. But it's more like a power stop. It's not like an actual clutch where it'll actually knock it off track. And it kind of janks your wrist a little bit. And to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about, if I take this and I take it out, that's not bad. I like that. But just kind of watch what happens if I get this all the way in. All right, this sort of, well, it didn't really do it then. Okay, right there. All right. Yeah, it sort of jumps out of your hand a little bit when it reaches that kind of torque. Now, this probably doesn't have enough power to like hurt your wrist, but like honestly, if that mechanism fails, it might hurt you a little bit, and more likely you're gonna drop it and like ruin it, so that's really annoying. I'm sure Skil has some kind of advanced, you know, I can't believe it's not a subpoena technology in there so they prevent, you know, lawsuits. But I would really like to have seen that. So even at $20, I just don't know that I can recommend it, especially since there's no adjustable clutch. Probably steer clear of this guy, but $20 is what you got, and this seems like it's fine. Maybe it'll you know work for you. All right, let's move on to our next store. All right, we have entered the exotic domain of Walmart. Sam Walton's Wonderland, as we like to call it here at the channel. We don't actually do that. But I had heard some rumblings that Hyper Tuff had several of these gift kiosk kind of things where it had some cool products available for purchase. I think they were all about $12 or whatever. And some very cool packaging, you know, and that some of it was pretty neat. So I looked around at some YouTube videos. I cheated, I get it. To see what was there. Now there is like a 10mm set that was kind of cool. I decided against getting that, and I just looked at what would pique my interest. So I decided on these three products. And so I thought, okay, let's look at this, right? So this guy, you know, again, this is really beautiful packaging. I love the red lettering. It's kind of raised up a little bit. It's kind of cool. It's got magnets in the thing. That's pretty sweet. And when I opened it, it has like a diagram of the tool. It's like, check this out, LED, flexible neck, extends to 23 inches. Wow, wow, amazing. And that's where the illusion starts to really end, because when you pull these out, it looks like it's set in foam, but if you see that, that's actually just cardboard that they've cut out, and there's like little strips of it kind of like fraying off on the edges. So the illusion is now broken that this was a quality product. And that illusion is further broken when you start touching them and realizing that these are absolute garbage. At least this one. So this is a telescoping magnet, the kind we all know and love. It gets pretty long, and yeah, you know, it picks stuff up, so congratulations. There's really nothing special about this one in particular, it just comes in the set. The star of the show is supposed to be this guy. We're supposed to double as a flashlight. So it does have some interesting features. One, it has a magnet in the back, so, you know, if you need to like have this as like your work light, I guess you can do that. It has a push button selector for the light, on, off, I like that, no frills situation. And then it extends into our magnet, because there's also a magnet on the front you can see there, right? So if you need to pick something up, this is about as long as it gets right here. So that's I think 23 inches. It's got some articulation, so if you need to pick that bolt up, you can. The magnet is okay, and the light is also, I guess, okay. And now, I think this is a great idea. I think the execution is not great. There's so much play like there, and every time I open this, the telescope kind of thing, it feels like it's gonna die. This metal handle is so thin and hollow that it, again, feels like it's about to fall apart. And then the magnet on this is like up front. I ended up taking it apart just to see how it works, to change it. And yeah, there's like a magnet in there. you would need to kind of pull this guy off. Let's see if we can get this to focus and I don't lose my mind. Oh, nice. You can kind of see that there's like a magnet in there and like a spring here that depresses it and provides the connection. So like this thing is like a wear out item waiting to happen. Maybe it's okay. I'm sure somebody's gotten some utility out of this. A light on a magnet, the pickup thing, sounds great, but like this is all bells and whistles. This is also available on Amazon, you know, under a different name or whatever that Hyper-Tuff is just rebranding. I found it the other day. I didn't even save it because I was so bummed out. But I was like, okay, so this is a loser. I don't like it. And then I saw, okay, but these look neat. Right, look at these two-piece multi-tool pen set. And, you know, a friend of mine was like, well, you know what would be really cool if there was like a multi-tool pen, right? Because she writes a lot of stuff. And also was like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if it had like a screwdriver on it. And so I bought this and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this to her for Christmas. And I'm not gonna give this to her because we're about to see. Same situation, you open it, oh wow, look at this cool diagram, look at this awesome packaging. Oh, look at this like awful paper nonsense. And it's just cardboard. It comes with 2 pens. One of them just has less features than the other, and it has some ink refills right there. There you go. All right, so the features. This pen opens up, right? Now this does feel a little bit less cheap, right? Like this is kind of like a heavy-ish pen, and I will say it writes, you know, decently well. It is a pen. It does function in that way. So feature number 1. It also has a ruler on there that starts right here, which makes it a little tricky to use, but that's not the worst thing in the world. So it indexes at 0 here, goes up to 10 centimeters or a little bit over 4 inches if you want an imperial. It's got a glass breaker, it's got a bottle opener, and it's got a level on it. That's like okay, and if you take this off on the larger pen, it becomes a stylus. So, you know, that's kind of neat. None of those features are terrible in and of themselves. This is what just irritated me to no end. If you unscrew this, we get a 1/4 inch bit holder, and I thought, hey, this is actually kind of neat. But as I pulled it out, I was a little bit alarmed to find that this is the design of this 4mm bit. It has this groove that has been cut out of it, as you can see there, and a ring, an O-ring placed in there in order for it to gain retention on this thing. Because there is no magnet, there's no snap ring in here. They were so cheap that the only way to make this function was to put a proprietary bit together, to grind a groove in here because they didn't want to like waste money on a magnet to provide retention. It almost never really retains. You can kind of see that the guy is like you know, the O-ring is like coming out right there. I guess it holds decently well, but there's a fair amount of play. But I can't use this as just a 4mm bit holder. I can only use this one with this like probably what number 0 Phillips on there and like a little teeny flathead. So that stinks. That's the one feature that like annoys me about this. And like for the money, I understand it's $12, but like I can't, in good conscience, like give this to somebody. This is exactly the same thing. The pen comes out. It has a stylus on the back instead of the glass breaker. It has the level. It has the thing, and it has the same awful design for like this like O-ring 4mm bit holder. It's just like why be so cheap, right? It already feels terrible, but like are magnets that expensive, and or like a snap ring that expensive? It's just like so ridiculous to me that they can't like, you know, amp up the quality just slightly more. They just can't seem to do it. So this is also not good. Let's get this back in the box, and if you order this from me, I'll ship it to my house, and we'll throw it directly into the trash can where it belongs. All right, so this like upsetting. I didn't like this. $24 total for like trash. All right, and so I thought maybe this thing is kind of cool. You know, I buy this, and this is actually kind of an interesting idea. So it's these insert wrenches. So we have 2 sides, 13mm and 14mm, but both of these have a retaining ring ground in the inside. That's kind of cool. right, like that. The smaller sides go from 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, looks like we got 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13 and 15, 16 and 17. They fit into here. That gives you different sizes, kind of a low profile situation. If you want to switch directions, you just have to put it in on the other side. So that's kind of neat. I thought, well, hey, you know what? This is actually kind of a good idea. But I realize these are both double-sided, right? Which means that if I want to use on this side, say this 8 millimeter, right? That's fine. And as I push against the bolt, right, this will hold it in as I loosen or tighten it. However, if I want to use the 6 millimeter side, right, and I apply pressure to this, say this is a bolt, and I push it in, right, that's going to push up against this and pop it out. I tried it out just a little bit, and yeah, that happened like all the times that I used the reverse side. So already we just have an inherently not great design. The ratcheting, passable, right? We're not going to clown on the ratcheting because it's actually decent-ish. Fortunately, the 10 millimeter one is more readily accessible because that's the one you're going to be using the most. But still, it just stinks that like, by its very design, it already doesn't work very well. Because again, you push this up against something, it's going to do that. Now, on this smaller side, the retention is actually pretty solid, right? Like it's, you know, a little hard to get out, which is what you want, so it stays in. But on the 19 millimeter side, the retention is absolutely abysmal, right? If you just ever so gently push this, it falls right out. Which means that if you're using the side on the like the side that opposite to where it goes in, you just basically can't use it, right? Or you know, you have to like hope it's going to be in like this configuration as you're doing it. It's going to be moving all around as you use this wrench. So like it's poorly designed. It's just not very good. And it's just annoying. So, and you know, if you remember the last time I talked about a hyper tough product on here, it was that little screwdriver. Let's remember what that was like. Yeah, trash. I hated it. And this is the same thing. Why? You know, I've heard some people say hyper tough products are good, but I haven't seen it yet. Garbage, garbage, and guess what? Different garbage. This is trash. Do not get any of these. If this is indicative of any of the quality that they're doing over down there at Walmart, down in their, you know, their tool factory that, I mean, we all know that they don't have, don't get them. I hate these. They're awful. Get something else. Please do yourself a favor. Let's move on to the next store, shall we? All right, we have gotten to the big dogs. We are now at the big two. You know what they are. The first one's Home Depot. Let's see how they do. Now, there were a number of deals at Home Depot that looked pretty solid that I just didn't really need. The ratcheting screwdriver for 20 bucks for the stubby and the main one looked actually pretty solid. Some of their Max Bite wrenches were on sale for 50 bucks when they're normally like $100. So that's like pretty legit. I didn't get any of those. I don't really need those all that badly. I mean, I don't really need this either, but you know, I think I've already made that joke on this video. I don't even remember. But here's the things that I did get. First up, let's talk about this pick set. All right, so Milwaukee had their pick set on sale for, I can't remember how much money, and we'll put it on the screen. And honestly, these are pretty decent. They're a little bit thicker than a lot of other picks, which is kind of a blessing and a curse. They're not so small that they're like dental instruments, which kind of stinks. But these still can get into other places. They do have kind of this like flat handle that I've never like seen that style before, but that's all right. It comes with the 90-degree pick, your straight kind of owl pick, this sort of, or awl, or however you say it, this little like the guy that's shaped like that, and our shepherd's crook style pick. And it comes in this, and I like it whenever tools come in like a case like this. So it kind of comes with its own storage. Throw this in the thing. Yeah, these are a solid set of picks. If you need picks, go ahead and get these. If you need like another set, I already had one. I've got some nice snap-on ones. I'm so cool. But these are good. I actually use these in the line of duty. A pair of boots that I have zip up the back, and the back zippers both have died, and I use this to hook in and pull them up. So these help me stay stylish for a party, so I appreciate these. As far as a decent set of picks, I think you can probably do a lot worse for the money. Moving on to some Ryobi products. I don't have a lot of Ryobi stuff. I've heard kind of poor things about their power tools, but that's okay if you have them. I still love you. But I did find these adorable little keychain minis that I both got. They have like a whole bunch of their different tools that you can get in these little mini keychains. I think they're $5 or whatever. I wish Milwaukee would do this, right? Because I would buy those and keep those on in a heartbeat. But these are, you know, like they're cute. $5 seems a little bit steep. I'm definitely going to give this to a friend of mine. But these are solid little, like, cute little gifts. As far as like actual tools go, I got this set of, I think these are 4-inch impact rated Phillips bits because they were so inexpensive. This came in a set of 3 for like, they were like $5 or $6, and I was like, I just really curious what the quality is like, and I'd say these are decent. The fitment is okay or whatever, but I do like the length, and you know, I'll give these a whirl, throw these in the impact, and see what they do. I mean, for the price, they're unbeatable. They also had some other bit sets that were more complete for just kind of a stupid low amount of money. So even if they're not the best in the world, you get a lot of stuff for the cash. And our last Ryobi product is this interesting little laser guy right here. It's laser level. So has a level like this, so it's flat, so you can determine if this is like, you know, whatever. Love that. That's pretty cool. And when you hit this, boom, you got a, oh, where is it? There it is, that side. This laser level, which comes out, so if you want to square something up and then kind of level it based on that, you've got this. Really good for probably, you know, leveling pictures on the wall, for working on all kinds of other projects. I don't do a lot of woodwork and that kind of thing that would necessitate this, or drywall work, but you know, I'm gonna try to find a use for this guy. It also has a kind of a weird feature. Oh, it's powered by 2 AAAs, which does kind of stink. I almost always prefer when something's rechargeable. So you do need to kind of keep after that. Probably not gonna use a ton of battery life, but it is something to consider. But it has this cool feature where it has these 2 spring-loaded pins in the corner. Let's get a close up on that. So up and up. These are a little bit pointy, so you got to kind of watch it. You can stab yourself, as I have done a few times on this guy. From what I understand, this is for like kind of getting into the drywall and then sticking it in, or like a piece of softwood. If you're like, okay, this can't move, you can kind of pin it into the thing and it'll sort of stay. Not going to work in all situations, but pretty good. This is nice. I don't use a lot of this, so I really can't like be like, this is a great one or a bad one. But as far as like a little DIYer, weekend warrior kind of thing, I think this is a pretty cool little guy, and I like how it kind of like, you know, that's pretty neat. Okay, last product from Home Depot. So these are the Milwaukee something bit holders. I'm not exactly sure. This is just so everybody knows. This carabiner is not for climbing, which I think we all probably knew that. But I almost bought the Hyper Tough version of these because they have one over there at Walmart as well. But I pre-gamed this a little bit from other YouTubers, and I found that they're not auto-locking, so I was like, yeah, I don't want that. So this on this carabiner, this is the one cheat. I had to order this online because every Home Depot I went to, the display was empty, even though they said they had them online in stock. So I had them deliver it. Home Depot does free deliveries. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so this has 5 of these 1/4-inch hex shank holders. They are auto lock, which basically means that if you take it and you shove it in there, boom, it will hold in. The retention is, you know, there's a little bit of play, but so you can't really use this as like a mini driver or something like that, because it also spins around this. But you know what? You grab it, you pull it, you let go. It's pretty good. You can't use this for 1-inch bits. I got one stuck in there. But overall, if this is like your jam and you need to like carry a bunch of like 2-inch and above bits, this is probably your guy. So if we got like these Dewalt bits here, and I wanted to load this dude up with your tried and true buddies, or maybe grab some Klein flip sockets there, a couple of accessories here for, like, say, like an impact driver or a drill or whatever you're rocking. You can carry this on this carabiner. Slap this on the side of your Vito bag or whatever storage solution. You know, get this on the pack out, and you know, slap this on the side of your tool pouch or just on your belt, and everyone's gonna know what a cool guy, and your desperate need for attention will be abated for a few moments as people admire your glorious 1/4" hex shank holding carabiner device. Anyway, let's get to our last store, and I bet you know which one it is. All right, our final store, Lowe's. All right, this is actually the one that I started off at and where I got the idea for this video, because I was walking around and I saw all the pre-Black Friday deals, and I was like, man, you know, I got to get in on some of these deals, and I need to justify it, so I better make a video. Anyway, so I got a couple of things here. Let's just talk about them all real quick. So first of all, I got this set of Bosch black oxide drill bits. I don't do a lot of drilling, but I do have a set of like Warrior bits that are not very good. So I decided to pick these things up instead to kind of give it an upgrade, because there's a project I want to do that involves some drilling. I don't know what to look for in a drill, so I don't know if these are good. All I know is that I believe this set was about 20 bucks, which seemed like a good deal. I've heard good things about Bosch and their accessories. And apparently, according to the packaging, there is over 45% savings in this box. Don't want to lose money. We got a 21-piece set. This is apparently good on wood, metal, and PVC. So these are kind of our universal bits. When you pop this open, nice smooth case. This comes up, retains the bits. You can pull these in and out. I'd say the retention is about just right. Kind of Goldilocks. They hold them in, but it's not too harsh. One thing I don't like about this case sort of right out of the gate is there's not really, oh, there is. Okay, so you can't really see it, but there is markings here for what size bit they are. A little bit hard to see, but I'm glad that they're there. And each bit also has the size on it, but it's sort of impossible to tell from here. These seem like decent bits. I got them. If this is like in your heart or you know, in your need, go ahead and check this out. They seem pretty decent. Next thing I'd like to talk about is this Ox mechanical tough carbon marking pencil. So I, again, don't do a lot of woodworking or anything that would really require marking with a graphite pencil, but I went ahead and bought this anyway and heard some good things. This comes with other leads as well, not just this. I think it comes with a white one, a yellow one, and 2 graphite, but I was really impressed. The operation on this pencil, smooth. It sparks much, much joy just to open this up. Holding this feels great in the hand. The lead is smooth, yet not like too abrasive. And just in general, this is a really great thing. I would love to use this. And you know what? In fact, I'm going to use this. I am going to use this and, where is it? Oh, here we go. The laser level. And we're going to do a woodworking project here at the Lotus Room. Not something I normally do. We're going to get outside my comfort zone. So, upcoming video, just plan that right there on the fly. Not really, that was actually planned the whole time. But anyway, as far as like a marking pencil goes, this feels like a premium option. You've got this sheath, this goes in, it goes in with a very satisfying click. You can't really hear it. Let's just get on the mic right here. Oof, outstanding. But yeah, I mean, this thing is really great. I think it was $15. I don't even know if that's very deeply discounted. But you know, as far as a marking pencil goes, I think this is a good one. But this is the only one I've ever known, so I'm not sure what my opinion is worth on that, but I like it. Okay, next up is this set of pliers. I think a lot of people have been talking about these. I went ahead and bought them. They're on sale for $25, so that's about 10 bucks each, which is a heck of a deal for not just 3 pliers, but 3 pliers of this style, all of which are really just direct copycats of different Knipex products. This is a twin grip, this is a pliers wrench, this is a Cobra grip. Kind of in these like sort of 5-inch varieties. And you know, some people seem to really like them. I appreciate it as a push button selector. I talked about these already in my video right here, where I was looking at the Work Pro water pump pliers. These are okay, they certainly get the job done, but it's quite clear when you use these next to a set of Knipex pliers, or even like Klein pliers, that these are a lower tier of quality. There's kind of a lot more play like this way. This push button selector is sort of off center, which makes me a little bit nervous as far as like how long this is gonna last. The steel doesn't feel quite as nice, like the teeth, I mean, they bite, but they're okay. They are serviceable, but like on this like pliers wrench, like you can kind of see it, like this push button selector is already kind of given up a little bit. And these are like brand new. There's also just like well, I mean, there's maybe not as much slop as I thought. Okay, so this isn't as sloppy of like a lower jaw. They're very, very low profile to the point where it really feels like they're trying to save on the material there. I've used these, they're okay. I don't love the way the handle feels, and like just this push button selector is dying. Like this thing is like on just hospice already, and it's brand spanking new. So that, and then the twin grips, these have like some screw removal kind of things. They've got that kind of, let's see here, that kind of like convex, is that the right convex? No, concave, thank goodness I studied math, kind of shape right there that to kind of help you grab screw removal things. And it's got that like checkered pattern for grip, which is good. So this is like a decent pair of like twin grip copies, but like again, this is like a man. So it's all right, it just doesn't feel nice. And then like the play in this, these are okay. I mean, if this is like a housewarming gift for someone who doesn't really do a lot of stuff, but like needs some pliers and like the wrench, whatever. I mean, for the money, it's unbeatable. For 25 bucks, you're not gonna beat it. Each one of these from like Knipex is gonna be a minimum of $40. So, you know, for the money, but like just the only thing I would say about these is like, don't think that you're getting the same level of quality as even something like a Klein, or well, I should say even like a Klein. Klein is actually pretty solid, but you know, just like an even like medium tier, like a Crescent or like a Milwaukee even plier, you're not quite getting there. These are definitely pretty low end. Maybe better than like Pittsburgh or something like that you would get at Harbor Freight. But anyway, interesting product. I'm glad they're there. It'll provide more competition and maybe kind of lift all boats. But just my warning, I hate to be, you know, hater nation over here, but these are just, we should not think that these are like on par with like their Knipex counterparts or other manufacturers. But the price is right. I'm kind of repeating myself. But okay, the last thing and the most important thing and the most glorious thing that I got on my totally unjustifiable pre-Black Friday holiday tool haul was this, the Lowe's mini bucket. Isn't it glorious? I really love this thing. It is food safe. What can you do with it? What can't you do with it? That's my question. Is it useful? I don't know, but you know, one thing you can do, throw this on your desk and we've got some fun tool storage. Grow a potted house plant out of this. Drink your morning coffee out of this. Show the world that you've given up with a Lowe's mini bucket this holiday season. You know, prove everyone right about you by just drinking your morning coffee. Walk into 7-Eleven, boom, just you've got it. Maybe don't do any of that, but no, as far as like tool storage for like a desktop, I think this is actually kind of nice. If you're working in an environment where you need to like grab a couple of tools for like a particular project, but you want to keep them organized, you put this out, boom, you have it in there. I think this thing is pretty neat. And you might be thinking, well, what about, you know, this one's a little bit warped, but what about like a lidded version? They have it, and I have 4. 3 now, I think I gave one away. But, and I'll be giving a lot of these away to friends and family. This thing is great, but your little lid, I'm sure this is the kind of thing where you just see it, and if you know, you know. You just gotta have it, and you'll find a use for it. But at bare minimum, it just provides immense amounts of joy to have, to own, to touch, to feel. It's absolutely wonderful. My absolute favorite item in this whole holiday tool haul is for sure this Lowe's product right here. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. As always, links below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube business, and please follow me on Instagram for the full Lotus Keeper experience, where you can see my culinary adventures as well as some of my upcoming other projects. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.